after having done the Masters in Agricultural Education, I wanted to do my PhD in animal production, but they said, no, you have to do another Masters in Animal Science, of which they gave me a provisional enrollment for PhD in Animal Science, and on condition that I had to take and do a Masters in Animal Science. So I was privileged to get the scholarship grants for the same from an organization called NACOSTI in Kenya, Dryland Farming with Egerton University, and Rufora and Mashab, which took me to Israel to do part of the same work in their laboratories. Then finally, when OWSD gave me the scholarship, I took the sandwich program and went and did specifically the laboratory work. I was looking at the effects of probiotics in chicken, indigenous chicken specifically. I was looking at the effect on their meat quality, the effect on their growth rates, the effects on the virulence or the ability to cause diseases if you consume the meat. I was also looking at the effect of the probiotics, if it could control their resistance to antibiotics. So that was part of my work, my lab work, of which I landed in the molecular microbiology lab in the Northwest University. And it was not a smooth journey because before I had to do the lab work, I had to raise chicken for the trials. The first batch of the chicken that I brought, they were all killed because they were infected by a terrible disease called infectious coryza, which has got no cure. I got the second batch, which had the same disease, but luckily enough, the probiotics managed to control the disease. So that moved me further to do the lab work. I'm so grateful for OWSD because they gave me the chance to join one of the best labs, which I couldn't have afforded, and also they paid for my air ticket. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Umuhoza Therese. I am from Rwanda. I am a biologist by background and an epidemiologist professionally. It is a name coined recently, just simply mean those experts tracking viruses, epidemics caused by viruses. So in our organization, most of the time they call us virus hunters or epidemic intelligence. So that's the name. But I started my career at a young age. My interest, I was so fascinated by all epidemics and viruses. At 12 years, I joined a club. It was a battle against HIV/AIDS here in Rwanda, because around 99, the epidemic was striking East Africa. So they had to create clubs around the country, around East Africa, to learn about the virus. Then later, around 15 years old, I chose to join the College of Science. Unfortunately, they were calling us, if you join that college, you will be an agri-woman. I took the, the risk to be called that one, and then I joined biology and chemistry. I was dedicated to make sure that I reached the high degree. Fortunately, I graduated the high school, joining Institute of Science and Technology, which is here. And I took the option of biology. And I heard about biotechnology. So I had zero idea what was biotechnology. Only it was biology and technology. So I was so fascinated also about that one. So when I joined, then they motivated me And I was always wondering what are the new technologies comes in there. I had to learn all those laboratory techniques. Luckily, I learned a technique which is most known called PCR, which took me to the high level. My bachelor project was for surveillance of viral disease, avian influenza. It was the time where the pandemic flu, you remember that one in 2006. Then my project was the best project here, undergraduate in 2011. After 2011, there was a USID project already recruited me for surveillance of viral diseases in wildlife. So I was using the same technique I learned here. After 2013, I had my master's, which was in epidemiology. So after doing my master's, I also had a chance to join Institute of Tropical and Infectious Disease. Institute of Tropical Medicine in Antwerp, Belgium. There was a guy, he was hosting a guy who discovered the Ebola virus. And it was always the same, me tracking viruses or interest in virus and epidemics. It was so fascinating to, all right. So only 30 seconds. So the Ebola virus was striking in West Africa. So I wanted to go for that battle. I wasn't given a chance because I was, I think, no yet expert. Then they had to come back here to join the Ministry of Health for surveillance of flu, influenza virus. After that one, I started collaboration with different collaborators of a global health program who really supported me and encouraged me to become a researcher. They advised me to advance my career with a PhD. Then I had a great chance to have an honor of OWSD award with my concept about arboviruses. And then now there I am, starting with my project. And soon I think I will be the PI as I am supported. I really acknowledge my journey was not very, very easy, but I think OWSD, it is not only the financial support, it is bringing us together and that visibility that motivates us. I thank everyone and remain in the same network.
Hello everyone, I'm Rahel Hagos from Ethiopia. I was graduated in 2008 from Jimma University, and I joined directly to university as graduate assistant one, as one of the high scorer students. And my second degree, MSc, I joined to Harma University and graduated in 2012. The word OWSD is obtained from my supervisor when I was a postgraduate student. He told me, you are a woman, so you have to try to apply OWSD, but I don't have any know-how about what is OWSD is. So I tried to search it, and what is OWSD? I have some information from that onwards. Then later, after I graduate my MSc, directly I married and I give 2 kids. Then later, after 2 years, the little boy, my son, after 2 years, I go to search OWSD and contact the host institutions like China, South Africa, and Malaysia. Later, I obtained only the acceptance letter from China, but other supervisors, they didn't respond to me any answer. Later, unfortunately, when I got award OWSD in 2016, I was pregnant for my third kid. Then I told to Tisha, am I right? Before Lucia, there was Tisha, and I contacted her. I'm pregnant, so how can I apply, or is possible to extend my fellowship? Then she told me, it's okay, no problem, we can extend your fellowship. You have to care yourself as much as possible. They encourage me, really. I appreciate OWSD to encourage all things, starting from the beginning to this. Then just I give safely my kid, third kid. Then my husband, I appreciate for him because he encouraged me to follow my PhD, because being a mother is very difficult. I was not very okay because I decided to leave my PhD after I give my kid, because she is very young, 3 months or 4 months. Later, even my families, they encourage me how to go and attend your PhD. That's the only opportunity, and I joined to my PhD last September, and she's almost, my kid is, she's 9 months. She is walking on foot, for your surprising. She stands at 7 months. This is the gift of the God, not everybody. I thank God everything, and I thank all of OWSD and related to my family to encourage my PhD attending. And I'm a student in China. Now I'm still challenging because this is my first time far away from family. So still I'm challenging, and now I start my proposal writing up. This is my history. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Salma Silla from Senegal. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to be here. I am a PhD student in astrophysics and very proud to be a fellow of the Organization for Women in Science for the Developing World. I have a background in nuclear physics at the University of Cheikh Anta Diop, Dakar, Senegal, where I obtained my postgraduate degree in 2011. At the year, I attended a meeting organized in Senegal. There were a few astrophysicists, and I was very inspired by the branch of physics. Astronomy had inspired me since my secondary school, but it's not taught at university level. I decided that I wanted to commit to the development of professional astronomy in my country. My supervisor supported this idea. One opportunity leads to the next. In the same year, I attended a meeting in astronomy in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, where I also witnessed the foundation of the African Astronomical Society. This gave me hope of a future of astronomy in Africa. I got also an internship in astrophysics in Paris, France. After this, I returned home in the hope to follow research in astronomy, so a PhD position. But as you know, it's not so easy to find funds for a PhD position. My supervisor and me tried to find funds, but it's not easy. Thank you. So I decided to cancel my inscription at the university and start a job. As I had also an engineering degree in IT, I was selected at the university, at the IT direction of our university, to work. I continue to follow some activities in astronomy. And in 2016, I attended a meeting in astronomy organized by local amateurs and a researcher from France who worked at the Institute of Development and Research in Senegal. And there, I learned the possibility to apply for a PhD position. But the funds were not immediately available. 10 months after this, in 2017, astrophysicist Professor Catherine Collenberg, whom I met 6 years earlier at the meeting in physics in Dakar, informed me of OWSD's program assist to women in science from the developing world. I submitted my application in June, and in September, I have the good news from my application. A new life starts to me with the help of OWSD. I leave my job in IT and start a scientific career in astrophysics. I decided to also to leave my daughter of 2 years old at home with my mom, that I thank a lot. With the fellowship, I will be trained in Morocco, and I will start my first visit in October 2018. And very much look forward to this. Right now, a grant from the Father Louis Prince Foundation in Belgium allows me to be a visiting research student at the University of Antwerp in Belgium for 10 months, where I am laying foundation in astronomy in preparation for my stay in Morocco. A very long story short, since 2011, I decided that I wanted to do a PhD in astronomy, but the reality of life puts this dream on hold. Now, in 2018, with the help of OWSD, that I thank a lot, I am making my dream come true. I am very grateful to OWSD and to all who helped me to be here. Thank you.
Hello. Oh. Hi, my name is Dorothy. I'm a medical doctor and an occupational medicine physician. So when I was told that I was going to present on my journey in science, I got a bit intimidated. First, because I'm just starting out as a medical scientist, and in the midst of several women who have gone through a lot to be here, I got a bit intimidated. But I have a story to tell, which might not be interesting, more than others, but yeah, there's something to learn maybe. So I grew up in Tanzania, and so I've changed dreams over time since I was young. So I wanted to be a banker, then wanted to be a lawyer, then a pilot. And then sometime I was lost, like, what did I do? Then I remember when I was about 10 years old, I had these two uncles who came from overseas, and they had just done their PhD. And they came home, and we're all celebrating at home, and yeah, praising them. Then I sat down with them and asked, what is this PhD thing that you guys have done? And they're like, okay, this is a doctorate. And because probably they couldn't find proper words to explain to a 10-year-old, they said, there's something, you know, when you have a name and then there's a DR in front of your name, so that's a PhD. Said, okay, maybe I also want that. So it means, because they told me it means you'll gain more respect in the society. I'm like, okay, so what do you do to get a PhD? So, okay, so you have to finish your primary school, secondary, and then first degree, master's, and then PhD. Said, that's a very long route. Is there a shorter one? They said, okay, you can do medicine and then you have that DR in front of your name. Like, okay, that seems nice. I'll do medicine. So that was the first interest. But then over time, as I grew, I was like, okay, coming from a family where my father and my mother, both of them worked in the medical sector. So they always talked about like the inequities in our health system. So every time a mom who's a nurse would come home frustrated, my father who worked in the health system also would come home frustrated, and then in the dinner table, that was all that they talked about. So I'm like, okay, so this medicine is not just about having a DR in front of your name, but you can do actually more. So then I learned about all these problems, lack of medication, not having enough human resource. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do something in medicine, but something that will cover all these things, like your preventive and curative, and also looking at research. So then that's when my passion in medicine became more meaningful. And then after, so I researched, and then I was like, okay, you need to do physics, chemistry, biology, and you have to be good at it. So I did my physics, chemistry, biology in secondary school. Then luckily I became one of the best students when I finished my my A-levels. And then I went to do medicine in Tanzania, finished top of my class again, and then I got an opportunity to go to South Africa to do my specialization in occupational medicine. And I did that for 4 years, graduated last year. Thank God again I was top of my class, and I got an opportunity to do a PhD there in occupational medicine. So and like many of us, the funding is a big issue. So when I got that opportunity, and my supervisor said, I don't have funding either for research or to keep you here. So I applied for OWSD, and luckily I got, and luckily my funding came actually a few weeks ago. So I am thankful to OWSD like everyone else. And in the next hopefully in the next 3 years, I'll be able to be a doctor with a doctorate and make that 10-year-old child in me very happy. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ndak Jogul. I come from Senegal, and I am PhD fellow of OWSD. And what about my background? I have a bachelor degree in natural science, a master degree in ecology and management of aquatic ecosystem, and another master degree in environmental science, more particularly in marine science. And currently, I am a PhD candidate on fisheries acoustics. Fisheries acoustics is the application of underwater sound on fisheries science. So, what is challenging for me in this study is that I don't have a physics background to understand, for example, the functioning of sonar system, or the sound propagation, or sound transmission. And also, I will often at sea, so on board. So you can imagine easily that it will be difficult for me to manage at the same time family and work. So how I got here? Like any student, I was looking for funding to carry out my research, and in a better condition. Why? Because in Senegal, in this field we don't have expertise. We just have one specialist, and also we do not have means, financial means, to carry out oceanographic cruise. So every day, every time, I was doing research on the internet, trying to find funding. So one day I saw OWSD call for application. So I applied, I have been selected, and here I am. So for my research, I have chosen the National Institute of for Halieutic Science in Morocco. And my first stay in Morocco will start at the end of this month, March 28th. So as soon as I leave Rwanda, I will go to Morocco. So I will also take this opportunity to thank OWSD for all these opportunity, and I hope that I am convinced that a few years I will have more things to. I will have a long story to give to you. Thank you very much.
I'll tell you about this institute where you are. So it's the East African Institute for Fundamental Research. It's a collaboration between the International Center for Theoretical Physics, which is in Trieste, Italy, the University of Rwanda, the General Government of Rwanda, and UNESCO. So the institute is set up as a research institute, and our goal is to carry out research and make discoveries for African development and advancement. So we carry out research and make discoveries for African development and advancement. Of course, we only have a small number of scientists, so how do we, and to be able to do that effectively, we'll collaborate with other people and have people visit us. So in the future, you'll be able to visit us and work with us and have collaborations. We will train also masters and PhD students so that they can also carry out research and make discoveries for African development. We'll have workshops and short courses to teach you the method we are using, or to teach your students the method we are using. We'll do outreach also because we want to train and have a pipeline of young students who are coming in. So some of our students will go for outreaches in secondary schools to encourage them to do STEM courses. Okay. So the next few slides, I'll just show you examples of some of the things we are doing. Of course, I do theoretical physics, but I try to apply it to things that are important. So in this case, I just show you a slide of an important drug, cisplatin. It's an anti-cancer drug. And the drug binds to DNA and causes apoptosis and cell death, or programmed cell death. But the drug it causes ototoxicity or nephrotoxicity. So one of my students is working on this. Basically, you functionalize it and try to prevent ototoxicity and nephrotoxicity. Some will say this is chemistry, yeah. But it's basically physics. All you need to do is calculate the energy of the molecule of the drug and the DNA separately, and then you calculate the energy when they bind, and find whether the energy when they bind is less than the energy when they're separate. Pure physics. In the future, I hope to study neglected tropical diseases, which is really predominant in Africa, some parts of Latin America, and Asia. We work on superconductivity also. Again, I tell you, I just do pure theory. Once we develop something that works, then we'll give it to experimentalists to develop a real device. This one is the world at night. Africa is dark again. So remember, research and discoveries for African development and advancement. This is my dream, to make it this way. There's another problem of water, inadequate water for many people, for a number of people in Africa, 40%. In the city, you can afford bottled water. Villages cannot. So these two problems of shortage of electricity and water can actually be solved by designing a catalyst. I won't go into the details. So you can develop a catalyst to work in a fuel cell and develop another catalyst to break water into hydrogen and oxygen. This is pure calculation. I sit on my computer and design this. So I use theoretical physics. In our institute, we've hired two scientists. This is Dr. Marcello Musso. He's an astrophysicist. And this is Dr. Tony George Apolaro. He's a condensed matter physicist also. He does quantum information. Marcello works on understanding the origins of the universe. So I won't go into details. We began 13.8 billion years ago with the Big Bang, so he's trying to understand it. the Big Bang is actually a problem because things have to move faster than the speed of light. Okay. So he's studying all this. I won't go into details. If the dark energy, something called dark energy, is greater than the if the dark energy dominates the total energy, the universe will expand forever. If not, it will collapse back. Tony is working on quantum information, so I can give you details later on this. The computers you have are just classical computers, so many people are working on quantum computers that will be able to crack a lot of problems. So he's one of them. So I'll tell you about our PhD program. It's by research. You find a suitable supervisor, or your student finds a suitable supervisor, determining a common area of interest, apply to UR, because the degree will be given by UR. The tuition is $2,000 per year, and $8,000 per year for your own support. So this is your stipend. The idea is we look for scholarships for the students. Okay, so it's not that the student will pay. Rich people don't come to school, right? Okay. And then you begin research. We have a barrier called the qualifier. You pass, and then you continue. For the master's program, so we have a master's program. It's a 2-year master. You can apply online. We do a selection. Same fees. The first year is actually basic physics, so it is a revamp of undergraduate, so that we take people from different backgrounds, we bring them to a certain level, and then in the first year. And then the second year is specialized to high energy, condensed matter, or solid geophysics. So this is the progress we are making.